Well, the new No Fault Auto Act changed how much money we can recover in personal property damages, and Tom Sinas is here today to break down when you can make a claim and what you can expect to recover. Lots of fallout still from the changes.
Yeah, and again, we're going to try over the course of the next weeks and months to take some individual topics that were a part of this massive change to the no-fault law. And this topic is what some people call the mini-tort.
Mini-tort. I had two of them for breakfast this morning.
I was going to say, it's
the
not
blueberry is my favorite.
It's not a small pastry.
Nice.
It has to do with what type of damages can you recover if your vehicle is damaged and someone else is at fault. All right. Part of our no-fault law limits the amount of damages that you could recover against the at-fault driver for vehicle damage. This concept has been around for as long as the no-fault law has been around, which was passed in the early 1970s. For years and years, the limit that you could recover against the at-fault driver was $1,000.
Right, familiar with that.
That was it. That was the mini-tort limit. And one aspect of the change of the no-fault law that was passed back in June was to increase the mini-tort limit from $1,000 to $3,000.
Interesting.
Now, there's something very important to note, which is that this change doesn't go into effect until July 1, 2020.
Gotcha.
Even though the law was passed this year.
Very interesting. People buying collision or things like that on their automobile need to know, hey, if I'm not at fault, but my other driver is, things like that. Next July.
Yes, and that's such an important point, because even though we've increased the limit to $3,000, anything beyond that that you need to recover in vehicle damage, you have to turn to your own insurance company. This only just gives you an extra $2,000.
Gotcha.
One of the ideas here, I think, was to help people recoup the cost of their deductible from the at-fault driver, right? And a lot of people have deductibles that are higher than $1,000.
Wow, okay.
This also obviously helps people if they have vehicles that don't have collision coverage but are worth $3,000 or less.
Exactly.
But key to this concept is the basic concept of any tort liability, which is that you have to show that the other driver's at fault. If he's not responsible for the mini-tort.
Yeah, there you go. It falls back to you.
And here's a little wrinkle of a rule that still exists. If you are more than 50% at fault, so let's say you're both to blame, and somehow it's determined that you are more than 50% at fault, then you cannot recover anything in mini-tort damages. And that principle has always been around. It's just now we're going to apply it to a limit that used to be $1,000 and beginning in 2020 is $3,000. But you raise perhaps the most important takeaway here, which is that don't be lulled into thinking that this slight increase in the mini-tort limit means you don't have to carry collision coverage on your vehicle. If you want to protect that asset, make sure you talk to your agent, make sure it's properly insured.
Something to think about for sure. Tom, where do people track you down?
They can find us online at www.sinasdramus.com. At that website, we've got a lengthy summary of all the changes in this no-fault legislation. Give us a phone call at 616-301-3333 or shoot us an email at info@sinasdramus.com.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Derek.